Hi everyone, Matt here, and today I want to talk to you about the mindset of a startup founder. Now, funnily enough, we are called Startup Founder Mindset. And that idea of the ideal or entrepreneurial mindset that a startup founder needs is really what drives me. And that is really the mindset of a confident, agile, open-minded, and resilient entrepreneur. So let's go through the really key steps of what's involved in trying to develop a growth mindset. And this is especially important for people that perhaps are in full-time work, wanting to make the leap into entrepreneurship, or even if you're a student wanting to do the same, because the way of thinking is entirely different. So let's get started. So if you haven't heard of this concept before, growth mindset is really the belief that abilities, skills, and knowledge can be developed through hard work, dedication, grit, and a willingness to learn. In other words, you really need to be committed to your cause. You really want to see your startup through, and you really want to be adaptable, flexible, have the ability to push through bullshit, to push through challenges, to be open-minded to feedback, and to have this constant focus on continuous improvement. So let's go through each step individually to look at, what are some of the key characteristics that a startup founder should have as part of adopting a growth mindset. So step one is looking at challenges as learning opportunities. And this could also be setbacks. This could also be mistakes. This could also be failures. But it's really looking at this as a way to overcome the speed bumps that arise along your journey. It's a way to develop new skills. It's a way to put yourself out of your comfort zone. And it's a way to really better prepare yourself for future challenges as they arise as well. Next is being open to new ideas, to new feedback. Some of the key things that I think an entrepreneur goes through when they're, number one, validating their idea, and two, potentially pitching. When you're validating your idea, potentially you may get a lot of feedback from customers that is not what you expected or is different to the kind of solution or the problems that you initially thought of. As a result, you will need to adapt. You'll need to refine your idea. You need to pivot your strategy and your solution. The other key point to be aware of is when you're pitching, and it doesn't matter whether it's investors, partners, maybe it's even someone interested in joining you. It could be a customer as well. Always be open to feedback. Now, with any feedback, sometimes it's easy to get defensive. It's easy to take it personally. But my advice would be to look at each piece of feedback, criticism, any comments that you get from people, and try to consider it objectively rather than emotionally to see if it is valid or not. Step three is to be flexible and adaptable. We already talked a little bit about pivoting your idea, based on feedback, validation from customers. But of course, you may also need to refine your idea, your product. You'll need to also then adapt to the business landscape. It could be things like evolution in legislation, advances in technology, changes in the market. It's always good to have a business plan in place, but make sure it's flexible and something that can easily adapt to the changing environment as well. And finally, you want to have this kind of focus on continuous improvement. I would think about it in terms of two ways. Number one, think about it in terms of yourself. How can you look to continually boost your strengths, your skills, your knowledge, how you're talking to people, how you are an entrepreneur, how you're even a leader? And the other focus of continuous improvement would be your business. How can you continue to evolve? How can you continue to be customer-centric and exceed the expectations, the pain points of your customer? Having that kind of approach will show customers that you're always willing to listen and you're willing to adapt and show how customer-centric you are. A great example of someone who demonstrated a growth mindset, especially in the early days of her journey, is J.K. Rowling. Whether you like Harry Potter or not is irrelevant. The fact that she went through so many challenges in her life, including single motherhood, depression, and many other domestic challenges, she faced constant rejection from publishers who didn't believe in her idea. But she was keen to take on feedback to help her continue to refine and develop the story that she wrote. But really, the conviction in her idea, the willingness to push through, this desire to succeed, is what enabled her to build what is now a global franchise, very successful book series, very successful film series. And, even after 12 rejections for her initial book, she finally found a publisher that was willing to give her a chance. So that's a really great way to think about adopting a growth mindset. Never giving up, accepting feedback as a way to improve. And even though you face many different challenges, learn from it, push through it, and continue to pick yourself up and get better and get stronger and get more confident. So I hope that gives you a clearer understanding of how you can adopt a growth mindset, some of the things that you should be doing to really embrace this entrepreneurial mindset, and some of the things you should be doing to become a real entrepreneur and a real startup founder. If you're looking for more help on how to launch your startup, we've actually recorded a free online masterclass, which you can access via the link in the comments below. In that masterclass, we've covered in great detail the 4 simple steps that you need to follow to be able to launch your startup. Thanks, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.